located at 5 Dartmouth Drive in Auburn. They serve all your business needs, including employee benefits planning, corporate design and business administration, investments and wealth management, and customized business insurance solutions. Their phone number is 866-841-4600 or on the web at cgibusinesssolutions.com.
Bring your kitchen to life with Queen City Cabinetry. Located at 87 Elm Street in the historic Sunbeam Mall in Manchester. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. They can be reached at 603-222-2007 or on the web at queencitycabinetrynh.com. Come see the possibilities. Queen City Cabinetry, another proud sponsor of WMNH.
Clemento's Pizzeria, family friendly, awesome for a date night. Clemento's Pizzeria.
For delivery, call 603-782-8450.
Clemento's Pizzeria, the best pizza in town.
1875 South Willow Street in Manchester, New Hampshire.
Best cocktails around.
Come in as friends and leave as family.
You are listening to WMNHLP, Manchester's radio, broadcasting at 95.3 megahertz frequency modulation from the top of 1000 Elm Street. Our studios are located at 1045 Elm Street and licensed to Manchester Public Television Service in Manchester, New Hampshire, USA.
Again, my friend, the lightning erased my hands, comb my eyes, it's late and dim, polarize my fate from sin. Sing, I bait the witch, tug of war with a snarling bitch. Just before she broke my lip.
Hey everybody, welcome. Here we go. It's that time again. Matt Connarton Unleashed. And we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. Actually, it's snowy and but that's okay. It's still glorious. Also on Comcast 97 if you're in Manchester. And hello to all of our online listeners across the nation and around the globe. You can go to my website, mattconnarton.com, for all of your live streaming options, social media links, contact info, show archives, merch, and more. Today is Friday, January 20th, 2023. So nice to have you all with me. Fridays, of course, are a very busy day here at WMNH 95.3 FM, and my favorite day of the week here, that's for sure, because, well, first of all, at the top of the hour, we will have Erich Pilcher's Classic Film Review, which is a very popular weekly feature on the program, and this week it is part 2 of Metallica, Some Kind of Monster. Fantastic, some would say, including me probably, and I certainly believe Erich has said it, the best rock documentary of all time. So today will be part 2 of that. That will be coming up at 5 p.m. So we look forward to that. Of course, immediately following this show, if you're listening live on Friday, we have Granted State of Mind, hosted by the great Rob Azevedo at 6 p.m. And then tonight at 8 p.m., both Rob and I will be back for Retro Spectrum Radio with Paulie C, which is every Friday night from 8 to 11 p.m. And Rob is joining us this week, myself and Paulie C, of course, and our friend DJ Steve. And this is what Paul posted regarding tonight's show. Tonight on Retro Spectrum Radio, we've got the topic all figured out. Now you have to. It's simple. We're going to play 25 songs that all have one thing in common. So you have to figure out what that is. Call in with the correct answer. Overthinkers are welcome. We'll also be joined by published author, poet, and host of Granted State of Mind, the great Rob Azevedo. The fun starts at 8 p.m. Eastern. And by the way, for that program, what we suggest that you do is we love it when people hang out in the chat room, just as we love it on this program. We love when people hang out in the Facebook live chat during Retro Spectrum Radio. So we encourage you to do that. But Paul usually mutes the audio because, there's a lot of copyrighted music during the program. So you can hang out with us on Facebook, but open another tab in your browser. Go to WMNHradio.org and click listen live, and you can listen to us on the WMNH website, but chat with us, hang out with us in the Facebook live chat during that show. Speaking of music, by the way, the band that we opened with today, a band called Marvel Prone, and the track is called Broke My Lip. Marvel Prone will be here with us in studio next week. I think it's Tuesday of next week. So I figured I'd give you a little preview of that. I really like them a lot. I like their sound, and they will be joining us. I don't know if it's going to be the whole band. I think it's 5 guys in the band, but we'll see. We'll see who makes it. But they will be here with us next week. Looking forward to that. So wanted to play a little something of theirs. Jenny has been booking a lot of great musical guests for us on the show. We're trying to have at least one per week. I think it's good for my, partly because the audience seems to like it and enjoys the interviews, but also I think it's good for my mental health. As much as I love politics, it's good to take a break from it and do something that's more positive. I always feel rejuvenated after interviewing musicians. And speaking of which, I have a surprise for everybody. And it regards a recent musician who appeared on the show. We'll get to that in a moment. Oh, and also today, we're going to finish the Steven Crowder versus the Daily Wire story, or at least get updated on that. We didn't get to all of it yesterday. If it's the last thing I ever do in broadcasting, today I am bound and determined we're going to finish it. Yesterday was a wild show, and we just didn't get through the whole thing, which was fine. I actually enjoy it, but when things are spontaneous and whatnot. But we will get through it today. I promise you. No, I never promise. What am I doing? I almost promise you. I will not fully promise you. But before we get to the surprise, 603-250-6007 is the studio line if you would like to join us today. 603-250-6007. You can also text me at 617-917-4476. Reach me on social media at Matt Connarton. And of course, you can interact and opine in the Facebook live chat. But the best thing, or you can email me, by the way, at matt@mattconnerton.com. But the best thing to do so that we can fully enjoy your dulcet tones is to give us a call at 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. I do want to say hello to everybody in the Facebook live chat also before we get to the surprise. Let's see. Oh, Erich Pilcher, first one in again. Yes, Eric, of course, our friend from Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and he does Erich Pilcher's classic film review for us every Friday. Like I said, if you're just joining us, we'll be hearing that at the top of the hour, his film review for this week. Rocky Huber also joins us in the chat. Hello, Rocky. Jason Federson, known on the morning show as JFed, says, good afternoon, everyone. Happy Friday. Jenny joins us and says, shalom, peeps. Charles Richardson from the great state of Florida and host of the Charles Richardson Show says, hey, nutballs, good afternoon. And Paulie C says, nutballs sounds like a delicious snack, a snack treat handed out at Hanukkah. Does it? Does it, though? Let's see. Oh, Jason Federson says, my favorite day as well. I love it. That was the first time I listened when Mel won. Yes, our friend Melanie La Liberty from the great state of Vermont. She won a contest. There was one week where Paul was doing the contest where you guess the theme of the songs, and he was giving out a prize. And Melanie won. One could argue that she may or may not have had an assist, inadvertent as it was, from a certain Dan Randall of Dan Randall and the Randlettes. But yes, Melanie did win. Apparently that was the first time Jason listened. Eric Pilcher says, there has been some major activity in the conservative beef. Yes, LOL. Yeah, beef. We love beef here on this program. And I don't mean the kind you eat. I mean the kind when people are mad at each other, when people are beefing. A lot of beefing going on. Plus, I just love to say that word with Steven Crowder and Ben Shapiro. And you know what I say? Let them fight. Let them fight. That's right. I love it. We will get into all of it today. Melanie says, Melanie La Liberty is in the chat room. She says, hey, guys. Jason says, I promise that I can't promise. Think about what you are thinking about. Ah, yes. Speaking of great artists, of course, MC Joe Biden there. Melanie says, one could argue all is fair in love and war and in radio contests. That is true. Yes. All right, here's what we're going to do. Here's the surprise, my friends. I've been teasing this, and the only reason we haven't... Eric Pilcher says Crowder would run through Shapiro in a fight, LOL. In a physical fight, yes. In an intellectual battle, surely not. All right, here's what we got. So recently we had a guest on the show. We had a musical guest named Ricky Mapleton. And Mr. Mapleton... you know what? I'm going to forward this to my other email. He is a very talented musician. He makes songs. He makes music that is much of it is quite humorous, actually, and very quirky. And I enjoy what he does a lot. And he offered to create music for Matt Connarton Unleashed. And because I told him, I said, I'd love to. I like to freshen it up once in a while with a new theme song. We've had the one we have now for a couple of years, and he has sent me, as promised, except why isn't it showing? Oh, there we go. He has sent me a couple of things. Now, I have not pre-listened to these, so this will be, I'll be hearing these for the first time as well, because I just got them in my email. They just showed up. But I am really looking forward to hearing what he came up with. And I know that, here we go. I know he seems to have two of them here. Okay, so here's the first one. Matt C 95.3 demo done. Okay. Oh, these might, the two that he sent me, they might both be the same song, just different versions, or one's a demo and one's the finished product. I'm not sure. All right, here we go. This is a world radio premiere. I love to do the world radio premieres here. Eric Pilcher says this could be an FCC nightmare, LOL. No. Ricky doesn't swear in any of his songs. So, plus he knows I'm going to be using this for the show. So no, he wouldn't do that. Okay, here we go. This is the first one. This is the world radio premiere of the Matt C 95.3 demo done. That's what the file's called. By the great Ricky Mapleton. Here we go.
Connarton Unleashed. 95.3 WMNH. It's Matt Connarton. Matt Connarton Unleashed. Matt Connarton Unleashed. Here we go, it's time for some more show. Matt Connarton. Matt Connarton. Matt Connarton Unleashed. Yeah. Matt Connarton Unleashed.
Cool. Okay. That was, I think the other one he sent me was the same thing. He just sent it to me in a zip file. Okay, never mind. All right, very cool. Very nice. Thank you, Ricky. Ricky Mapleton. It's very upbeat. It's good. It's good to play on a rainy day. I like it. All right, very good. So there it is, the world radio premiere of the Matt Connarton Unleashed. Oh, wait a minute. Is there... Oh, he sent me some other things too, but it's for something else. Okay. So I guess that's the one for this program. Excellent. Thank you, Ricky, the great Ricky Mapleton. All right. 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. Erich Pilcher says, better set aside some of the, for the checkup needed afterwards. I don't get it. I missed something. Okay, there's something going on in the chat room I don't understand. That's fine. That happens a lot, actually. Well, let's get to it. And by the way, Eric, I do have Skype open, or if you want to call in, if you want to be a part of this, you're certainly welcome to. This is the story from Forbes. Now, when we talked about this yesterday, for one thing, I love talking about media and political media. Whether it's legacy media, like radio, like FM radio, or cable news, or newspapers, or whatever it is, or if it's online media, you've got all these different online media properties that are strictly online, that are very successful. It's all very fascinating to me, and of course the lines are blurred in many ways. Oh, that must be Eric, is that you? Eric, is
Hello?
that you? Oh, there you are.
Yes, it is.
Yes, welcome.
I figured I would Skype in case in case someone that could contribute to this conversation specifically wanted to call in.
Oh, very good, very good. Is that a hint? Is Ben Shapiro going to be calling us?
I don't have those type of connections.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you were hinting at something. All right. No, very good.
I kind of was, but more of a invitation that if you're going to call in, just let's contribute to this because this is fascinating.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So, so yesterday we were talking about how Steven Crowder, he posted this video. He had posted a video of him complaining about this contract that he had been offered because apparently the Blaze no longer associates with him. That ended at the end of 2022. So he needs a new media home, Steven Crowder does. And so apparently he was offered something, a $50 million deal.
Poor baby.
What's that?
Poor baby.
I know, right? I guess it's just not sweet enough for a talent like Steven Crowder and his what's the word? Racism. Yes. Anyway, but although apparently he's discouraged from doing that at the new at his new home if it all does work out, which it doesn't look like it's going to. So
no.
So he took the he took the contract that he was offered, and apparently he was indignant. Because there are things in the contract actively discouraging him from doing things that might get him demonetized, even though he's already demonetized on YouTube, for example. And he went public with all of this without identifying who it turned out to be the Daily Wire that offered him the contract. But initially he didn't say who it was. But our friend Eazy-G is on the line. Hello, Easy.
Hey, I'll try to follow that story today. Anyways, I'm not going to believe this story. For surprises. Well, it's not really a surprise now, but they're talking about some people, appearing at the Royal Rumble, and it's definitely his time is up. We don't ever need to see this guy in the ring again. Goldberg, oh, come on.
Wow, not a fan of Goldberg.
Are you?
I like Goldberg.
Yeah, he's like 100, so I want to see him in the Rumble. Give the young guys a shot, you know? God's sake.
Uh-huh.
And it doesn't look good for The Rock to be at WrestleMania, so I said, yes, no Rock. If he doesn't sign up for it the next 3-4 days, they say he's all not going to be in it. He has to work out and get ready. You don't have time. Plus, he's busy with the XFL, going to set up the 13th. Anybody cares. This is the third time, so I consider third time and you're out. The last 2 times have been total failures.
Erich Pilcher, what do you think about Goldberg? Or what do you think about maybe Steven Crowder in the Royal Rumble?
Who is that guy anyway?
I think Steven Crowder in the Royal Rumble might be the only avenue he's going to have left.
Yes.
Who is it? Who is Steven Crowder? Who is he?
He is an online media personality, although he does make occasional appearances, I think, on Fox News and other places. Right. Because some people only pay attention to what we call legacy media and are not interested in online media necessarily. Like my dad texted me and he didn't know who Steven Crowder is. But if you're someone like me who's immersed in both, Steven Crowder actually probably he's got to be top 5, right? Erich Pilcher in terms of online political conservative commentators.
Eric from Skype, huh? That was going on.
One thing that we're totally missing in this whole story is in conservative talk, since the passing of Rush Limbaugh, there has been a major power vacuum.
Yeah.
Where everyone is just shooting to try to grab at that top spot. So it has led, I think right now you kind of have 4 pillars, if you will. You have Shapiro, Crowder, Matt Walsh, and I would probably throw Tucker Carlson in there. Tommy Lahren is probably just outside of that.
Mm-hmm.
I think Kennedy he's peaked.
Yeah.
I think his base is his base. He isn't going to grow anymore.
Yeah.
But interestingly enough, while Eazy-G was talking, I did go ahead and look at Twitter, and Matt Walsh is now involved in the beef.
Oh, he is?
Oh, yeah.
Matt Walsh. It weirds me out to even look at that guy because he looks a lot like our very own Kyle Heavey, the host of Off the Mark Sports here at WMNH. Although 2 very different people. Right, Eazy-G?
Well, hey, like Russell just died there. I forget his name. Just died a couple of days ago.
Yes, Jay Briscoe.
Yeah, his kids are long recovery.
Yes, well, they were in the accident.
It's going to be okay, but it's going to be a long road before they're, able to go back to school. I'm assuming. Unfortunately, one's in a breathing. What do you call that breathing thing? Ventilator.
Yes.
That's not good.
No, that is not good.
Now it's also here's an update on that football player that got a heart attack, and he's got a long road.
Yes.
I mean, he might have been seen as a park there, but he's got a long recovery, and if he's smart, he'll never come back.
Yes.
If he comes back, he might have another heart attack and die.
Well, that's
smart, he'll be on the sidelines. I mean, Triple H had the heart problem. He can't wrestle no more.
That's right.
Which is a good idea because he's too old too.
Right. Yes, you have.
You agree with me? There's some I goes to Triple H at the Expo last time in Saudi Arabia against Undertaker and some other old guy. They both got hurt.
Erich Pilcher, I have a question for you now. When Eazy-G, when his voice gets gravelly like that, I become concerned that he's a victim of demonic possession. What say you?
I don't believe he would be, but I really, really would like... I miss my entertainment reports.
Oh, yes. Don't we all?
Hey, one last question. What do you think of the old guys coming back and taking the young kids' spot? What do you think of that, Eric?
I mean, it's what the management allows. I mean, if money keeps rolling in on it, they're going to keep letting it happen. So,
But eventually those guys won't be able to cut it at all. They'll be like Ric Flair and Hogan. They can't wrestle no more. They keep bringing back for this crazy 30th anniversary. Their time is up.
Their time is up. My time is now.
Certainly, a lot of those wrestlers that are old, one of these days, like Undertaker, you can't wrestle no more. They got to give the young guys a shot, otherwise they'll be in big trouble. Like church, the old people continue to go and they all pass away, and young people don't go. That'll be the end of the church.
That's right. Well, Easy.
I don't like the old guys.
Yes, we know that. All right.
Well, I'm gonna let you go and see if I can figure out who this guy is.
Yes. Look up Steve.
I know I gave up on all those WGIR bumpers who talk about the food buckets. I don't listen to any of them anymore. My life's a lot better.
That's right. Good for you, Eazy-G.
All right, I'm going to hang up and see if I can figure out what his dummy is. So, goodbye.
Okay, bye-bye. All right, very good.
Boy, you should have known by now. Easy dope.
Wow, Eazy-G. And Melanie in the chat room says, man, Easy really hates old people. And yet he's surrounded by them every day of his life. It's ironic. Although that Bruce guy...
Elderly?
What's that?
I was going to ask, is Bruce elderly?
I believe so, and I think that's where a lot of Eazy-G's resentment comes from. He knows he can't trust Bruce. Bruce is nothing but trouble, and I feel that that is making him ageist and against all old people, which is very unfortunate. But and I've tried to counsel him on that, but it's no use. As you know, Eric, I've tried to counsel other people too. Out of their attitudes about certain things. And it never seems to work out. I just never get through, but that's okay. But if you'd like to join the discussion that Eric and I are having about a very specific topic, you can call us at 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. And so Matt, Eric, you were saying Matt Walsh is now involved. Now, he works at the Daily Wire, correct?
Yes, Matt Walsh does work in the Daily Wire, and he basically I actually went to Ben Shapiro's Twitter and he retweeted this. Someone named Capes 1776 said, Matt, you are by far my favorite conservative voice on the Daily Wire. I know you never speak with a muzzle when I listen to your shows. That being said, do you agree with the long-term business strategy of the Daily Wire being dependent on ad revenue from woke companies? Matt Walsh responded, that's the opposite of the Daily Wire's strategy. Crowder is deceiving you. We have built a subscriber base of 1 million plus. Our long-term strategy is to be our own institution, as Jeremy has very clearly laid out in the company meetings that are live-streamed for the public to see.
Yeah. It sounds like the whole, it's basically, I mean, at this point, it's really Steven Crowder against the Daily Wire, not just specific people there, it sounds like. But it's so bizarre. So Steven Crowder posted that video with all of his complaints without naming who it was, but everyone assumed it was the Daily Wire, because where else would he go? I mean, you've got the big online conservative juggernauts. You've got The Blaze and the Daily Wire, and I don't think there's anything else. There's anybody else really playing on that level. So who else would it be? So he makes his Crowder makes his video, and then Jeremy. This is the part that we didn't get to yesterday. So then Jeremy Boring, I don't know if I'm saying his name quite correctly.
I think it's pretty close.
Okay. He posted, he's the CEO, apparently, of Shapiro actually owns it, right? Ben Shapiro, is he the owner of the Daily Wire, or one of the owners?
I believe he has a controlling interest.
Okay.
He's editor emeritus of the Daily Wire.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So Jeremy Boring, he makes this is what I was so fascinated by. He makes this hour-long video, and I haven't even watched the whole thing yet. But I
did last night.
Oh,
I was up pretty late, and I did. It is. I thought when I just sorry to cut you off, Matt.
That's okay.
I thought when I just read the bullet points I'm like, oh, Steven Crowder got ethered. And it was an ethering that, and my respect diminished for Steven Crowder.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I watched the video and I was like, oh, wow. This is just major league. I can't even put into words what this is. I was aghast like I was the first time I saw the video of Tupac's Hit 'Em Up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Except I didn't run to my aunt and ask her to buy me the single afterwards.
Right.
Like I did with Hit 'Em Up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just like, are you kidding me? And I've been trying to keep you abreast of it in the Twitterverse by retweeting and tagging you. But Steven Crowder recorded a conversation between him and someone with the Daily Wire using a talk boy from Home Alone 2.
Yes. Yeah, and I wondered, well, it was Jeremy, wasn't it? Wasn't it that Jeremy guy that he was talking to?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. Which
And
is that's in bad faith, I think, taking that conversation and playing it.
It's just tacky. And it's really disturbing.
Yeah.
Like, you would think a guy that got a $50 million offer could afford more than just a talk boy.
Right. Yeah, I think he just thinks it's fun. Although he claimed it's a couple $1,000s on eBay, I think is what he said.
Well, by God, let's go ahead and take a look at this here. As someone who does have an eBay store, I can take a look at how much a talk boy is.
Yeah.
Because okay, no, none of them are a couple $1,000s.
What are they going for?
I'm just looking at listings. I can go to sold items.
Yeah.
First one is $199.99 or best offer. But it comes with the tape.
You know, based on this, I'm starting to, I don't know about you, but I'm starting to not trust Steven Crowder.
I'm really like, Steven Crowder's just coming off like an idiot here.
Yeah. No, but the thing that's so fascinating about the video that Jeremy Bowring posted is, so he goes through the contract. He's refuting everything that Steven Crowder is claiming about the contract, and he actually goes through the whole thing. He spends the hour going through the whole thing, and it's just really interesting, you know, as someone who loves media and I love, you know, behind the scenes stuff and knowing the ins and outs of what goes on at these different media properties. It's riveting to me to watch him just go through the whole thing and say, okay, this is how much money we're offering to pay Steven Crowder, and this is what happens if this goes wrong, if that goes wrong, this is how much we reduce the amount. And the transparency is fascinating to me. But as I heard someone point out too, it's also, I think it was, I don't know if you've ever seen Eric, the Majority Report with Sam Cedar. That's a liberal show on YouTube. And I think it was...
I cannot say it's in my playlist.
Okay, right. Sam Cedar pointed out, I think it was Sam or somebody else on his show pointed out that, if for anyone who wants to somehow hurt the Daily Wire, if you're on the liberal side and you want to do something to the Daily Wire, Jeremy, by going through all of that, kind of gives you a blueprint for, well, not a blueprint, but kind of an idea of how you might be able to hurt them, since they're very concerned with monetization and so forth. Oh, hello to Chris Rose from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, who joins us in the Facebook live chat. But the video is just like I said, I haven't had a chance to finish it, but it's just fascinating to watch him kind of go through the whole thing. And the transparency of it. But we've got an article here. This is from Forbes.com, and this will kind of get us caught up on what's happened here, because, I love all the drama. I don't think that surprises anyone who's a regular listener of the show. It says here, right-wing pundits Ben Shapiro and Steven Crowder clash over $50 million media deal. I mean, it's just stunning, right? I mean, by the way, just for the record, I just want to put this out there, by the way, put this so, anyone in media who might have a big company or just put it out into the universe, so to speak. If anyone wants to offer me $50 million, I will, as long as it's something related to media or really just about anything else, as long as it doesn't violate my morals and ethics, I probably won't do a lot of belly aching about specifics in the contract. I will probably happily accept your $50 million. I'll even supply my own pen to sign the contract with.
Matt, I will say some of my morals and ethics and principles, they might be up for auction for 50 mil.
50 million's a lot of money. I mean, let's be honest. Yeah,
They could have some of my morals and convictions for half.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah. I mean, and anything, it's like the $1 Million Man used to say, everybody has a price. So it says here, far-right YouTuber Steven Crowder has accused conservative media outlets like the Daily Wire of conspiring with tech companies to censor conservative views after the company offered Crowder a $50 million deal that would cut his compensation if his social media channels were demonetized or boycotted, which Crowder called a slave contract. And as you pointed out yesterday, Eric, that's pretty nuts, right? To apply the term slave contract to something with 50 million on the dollar value.
I'd like to make an offer to Mr. Crowder on your show. He should listen, Matt, but I doubt he does.
Yeah.
If he would like, I would be more than willing to go to my local half-price books and pick him up a DVD copy of Roots and send it to him, so he can watch it. I highly doubt that is something Mr. Crowder has watched.
Mm-hmm.
So he can watch and see the sheer lunacy of his attempt at a comparison or whatever it was.
Right.
Yeah. I think he would probably check out. I'll give him the first 2 episodes.
Yes. Well,
I that he'd be done.
Having seen much of his content over the years, though, I don't think Steven Crowder, well, let's just say, I mean, given, he's kind of, what's the word? A racist. I keep searching for that word. Yes, he's kind of racist. So I think I think he probably feels oppressed. He probably feels like with this $50 million contract that he's been offered, because the conditions are unacceptable, he probably feels as though he is an oppressed white man being held down by big tech with this $50 million contract that he's being offered.
Man, let me tell you.
I mean, I almost feel sorry for him, I mean,
I know.
The humiliation.
He might be this generation's Rosa Parks.
He may very well be. Yes. He's not accepting that $50 million without, a few accommodations apparently. But so some key facts. Again, this is from Forbes. It says in a video posted online this week, Crowder said that some outlets were in bed with tech companies and were colluding to ultimately demonetize and censor right-wing views on social media platforms, though he didn't name any outlets specifically. Crowder also showed excerpts of a contract from one company, later confirmed to be the Daily Wire, with the compensation penalizations if his programming faced loss of advertising revenue, including from advertiser boycotts, or if Crowder's channels were demonetized by social media platforms. And by the way, we should point out, Crowder already has been demonetized from YouTube. He's on YouTube. Right. His content is there, but they've demonetized him. So apparently, if you're, I guess as a way, if you're racist, but you're not too racist, they won't necessarily kick you off. They'll let you stay. They'll just demonetize you.
Matt, real quick, I
Yes.
believe he was demonetized, not for racism.
Oh.
I believe it was COVID related.
Oh, okay. Yes. Well, that makes sense as well. He is I don't know that he's a COVID denier necessarily, but he's certainly a COVID down player. You know,
He teeters. I think there are times that his foot might cross that line.
Yeah.
But yeah, he spread some things, and he got the proverbial. The kids call it the ban hammer.
The ban hammer. Yes, the young people say that.
Yes,
he got the ban hammer. Well, that's a good reason as well. Frankly, yeah.
Well, I would say, you know, not to diminish racism,
Yes.
but when we're facing a worldwide pandemic that people are legitimately dying from,
Yes.
but you can question the number of deaths. That's fine. I myself have done that.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly. But I've never questioned the severity of the sickness.
Right.
And that's what he did. And yeah. So I think it was more so COVID than his racism, but I'm not 100% certain.
That makes sense. Yeah. It says here, while Crowder never named the media company or specified their proposed salary, he said the contract's immoral terms are effectively punishing conservative content creators on behalf of big tech. The Daily Wire's CEO Jeremy Bowring confirmed in a YouTube video Thursday details of Crowder's job offer, claiming the YouTuber misrepresented the contract that would have awarded Crowder $50 million over 4 years. Bowring chalked up the contract stipulations to running a profitable media business and said Crowder seems to think he deserves to be paid, quote, millions and millions of dollars, unquote, whether his show drives revenue to the Daily Wire or not. Far-right media personalities criticized Crowder, including the Daily Wire co-founder Ben Shapiro, who said it was rather nasty to attack friends over his, quote, misinterpretation of a document that offers you $50 million, unquote. Yeah, by the way, so again, I just want to put this out there. If anyone wants to offer me for any reason $50 million, hell, even if it was only $45 million, I will not attack you online with a video. I assume you feel the same, Eric.
Yeah, classic film reviews could be had for, I'll say 30.
Sure, 30 million, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Matt Walsh, who hosts a show on the Daily Wire, said the suggestion that the company's pundits are, quote, somehow muzzled or controlled is blatantly absurd, while Candace Owens said, quote, it was a total B move, except she used the actual word, but I can't say that here. Crowder defended himself in a YouTube video Thursday, saying his comments were not about the money and that he encouraged the Daily Wire to change their business model to not rely so much on advertiser revenue. So that's interesting to me, Eric, because the Blaze, I think, is that's all subscription based, right?
Absolutely.
Do they have any advertising on the Blaze, or is it all subscription?
Well, perks of me being on Skype is I can check.
Because I'm assuming that, I mean, it actually makes sense because we talked yesterday about how at the Blaze, no one seemed to bat an eye that I know of over any of Crowder's content rather. And but you know, on a platform that's purely subscription based, where you're not depending on ad revenue, I guess that would be a good reason why.
I mean, it appears that they're on the iHeartRadio network, so I would guess. I mean,
the Blazes?
That there would be some. The Blazes, yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
I would say that more than likely it appears there is some premium content you can. Here we go. Here's what I want to find. Subscribe now. Perfect. It's loading. It appears that you can sign up for some premium content.
Ah, okay. But it sounds like... Oh, go ahead.
It appears that there is the premium content, the base content is free.
Okay. But you can subscribe, and I assume the subscriber content doesn't have any advertising attached to it, so that makes sense. So it sounds like what Crowder is trying to tell the Daily Wire is, hey, why don't you be more like the Blaze, the place I came from, and let me do whatever I want and use their business model? When in fact, the Daily Wire, they seem to be pretty successful with the business model they already have.
Yeah, I mean, once you've adopted a business model in media, especially, it's very hard to go back on that. You can't change it. Media in itself has always been advertiser based.
Right.
There's no other way to put it. It's sponsor driven. It's advertiser based. You can't deviate from that. Granted, there are outlets that do find ways around it. Kudos to them. But the Daily Wire isn't going to change their model for anyone. And to be frank, Steven Crowder is really just being an idiot. Let's say I were to say something horrendously offensive in one of my film reviews, and it were to get out on air through your impeccable quality checks. I would expect you to tell me, or I get contacted from Peter White saying, hey, here's what's going to happen. You're done, or you're suspended for X amount of time.
Well, Peter wouldn't. You wouldn't hear from Peter, but I would hear from someone who would say, Matt, you can't let that happen. Right. And then I would have to tell you, yeah, we can't let that happen.
The poo-poo would run downhill.
Yes.
So him saying, well, if I get suspended or we lose advertisers, I shouldn't lose money. Well, yes, you should.
Right.
If it's because of you and what you said, then yes, you absolutely should. News anchors are held accountable for ratings. If your ratings slip when it comes time to renegotiate, that's taken into account.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I worked at a TV station here in Cedar Rapids for an ABC affiliate. And you could tell when an anchor was up for renegotiation. They were short, they were curt, because anything the station can do to save money, they're going to do. So if there was a major news event and more people tuned in to the CBS affiliate over the ABC affiliate and you were sitting in that head chair, you are held accountable for that failure.
Yep. Hey, there's a question in the chat room. Jason Fedderson says, Erich Pilcher, how do you know so much about being suspended? Does he know about your college radio story that you told me about the song you played?
I didn't get suspended for that.
Oh, okay.
Shockingly enough.
Oh, okay.
I got a very direct talking to where I maybe said 5 words in 25 minutes.
I gotcha.
And I believe a majority of the words were, yes, sir, and shaking my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I probably should have been for that one.
Yeah. Okay. So you referred to, or I forget who brought it up first, but that call that Crowder had with Jeremy Bowring and that he played on his, what is it? A Talk Boy? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, It's literally the machine from Home Alone 2.
Oh, okay. Right. So according to this is from Forbes. He said in that conversation, quote, if there's a penalty for being demonetized on YouTube because your business model requires that a huge component of it, you need to change your business model for this move, or this movement cannot work, unquote. So that part baffles me too, because he's already demonetized on, Crowder's not monetized on YouTube anyway, as we discussed. So I don't know what it matters, unless he thought the Daily Wire was going to get him his monetization back. And a little bit of background here. It says Crowder previously had an online show on The Blaze, Glenn Beck's media company, but announced last month he was leaving. Crowder has long been a controversial personality on social media, particularly YouTube, which in March 2021 demonetized his main channel, making it impossible for him to run ads and earn a profit. YouTube did not reveal if a specific event triggered Crowder's demonetization, but did remove one of Crowder's videos for violating, Eric, here, for violating YouTube's presidential election integrity policy, the platform said, and suspended him for a week. So what that means is, and I've experienced this myself, even though I was never in violation of YouTube's TOS, but apparently one of the bots thought that I was. If you say something about, if you question the integrity of the 2020 election, and that's information or opinions that you're disseminating on your program, YouTube will give you a strike for that. I got one. I actually argue against all of that. I've always taken the position there's no evidence or proof of voter fraud, so I always argue the other way. But one of the bots, I don't know if I had quoted someone, maybe I had quoted Rudy Giuliani, I don't know, or Sidney Powell or somebody, but I must have said something that one of the bots picked up and thought that I was saying it, presenting it as my own viewpoint, and I got dinged for it. That's why now if I discuss that particular subject during an edition of this show, I don't upload that day's show to YouTube. I skip it. I just put the podcast up on the site, but I don't bother uploading to YouTube. But apparently that's what he got. That's what got him. Oh, wait, there's more here. I'm sorry, Eric. I spoke too soon. Okay, so that got him suspended for a week. And then it says later in October 2021, Crowder was suspended again after he uploaded a video discussing a story of a transgender woman serving time in a California women's prison. Geez, I don't even want to read the rest of that. Okay, but apparently he told a story about someone transgender and then it was debunked. And it says Crowder was suspended after the video was found to violate YouTube's hate speech policy. Hate speech from Steven Crowder, I'm stunned, through repeated targeting of the LGBTQ plus community, YouTube said. I'm just stunned. And then there's a little bit more here. It says, last year, Bowring said the Daily Wire was a $100 million business. The website's 12-month revenue hit $100 million in January 2022, up from about $65 million for the full year in 2020. The Daily Wire is among the top publishers on Facebook, and the company's right-wing pundits are some of the most popular conservative creators. Besides news coverage and social media, the Daily Wire produces original movies, but has their own book imprint and other products. The company started selling their own line of men's shaving kits last year after the popular... Go ahead.
I'm sorry to cut you off. That's another just hilarious story. Basically, Harry's Razors was a sponsor of the Daily Wire.
Yeah.
But began to disagree with their content.
Yes, it says that here, yeah.
Jeremy Bowring created Jeremy's Razors.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. That lit up my Instagram feed for a few days. That was entertaining.
Yeah, it says here, the grooming brand Harry's Razors pulled their advertising from the site over complaints that podcast hosts had made homophobic comments. Well, we know that didn't come from Crowder because he's not at the Daily Wire, but somebody said something wrong that upset them. And I suppose, now, to Crowder's point, that would be an example of, but the Daily Wire, they didn't budge. Actually, no, it cuts against Crowder's point because the Daily Wire, they didn't budge. They just created, like you said, they just created their own thing. But also, looking at according to this, basically, and that's the end of this article, but it kind of sums it up as, look, the Daily Wire, it would appear, is monstrously successful. So here's Steven Crowder. He's complaining about some of the terms of his $50 million deal, and he's saying, well, in order for this to work, you should change your business model. That's bizarre.
I think it is working. Look, I really dislike bringing a certain individual up, but there's a certain individual that that you, myself, Jenny, Billy Painter, Rob, Dirk Don, we've all said this in a variety of different ways.
Mm-hmm.
The Second Amendment the First Amendment gives you the right to say what you would like.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't give you the right to offend with complete autonomy.
Right. Freedom of speech is not freedom from consequences.
Correct. And that's the thing, is the Daily Wire reins it in. If you were to compare Ben Shapiro's show with Steven Crowder's,
Mm-hmm.
if you were to listen to them back to back, you would hear the exact same points being made.
Sure.
It's just Shapiro is more discreet about it than Steven Crowder is. And that is fine. But when you're going into a company that is more well known, you lose that ability. You have to tone it down.
Right. Yeah.
You can't sit there and say, "Oh, well, I'm coming, you need to change."
Right.
No, buddy. Our model has worked for so long. We're bringing you in. You need to change.
Right. Bringing him in and making a huge investment in him. I mean, that's a big contract.
Right. Look, it shouldn't be that hard. I'm going to go out on a short limb here and say Steven Crowder is probably a very smart guy.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. What's his play here? What is he trying to do? I mean, do you have any theories?
Martyrdom.
But why? To what end? I mean, what is this going to get? What? Mm-hmm, go ahead.
Himself as the leader of this true conservative movement. What he's trying to do is he's trying to paint the Daily Wire. Oh, these people are playing conservatives.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the real conservative. Look at me. I'm turning down a $50 million offer because they're not allowing me to speak the truth. They say some things, but they're letting money control them.
Mm.
I am not. I want to bring you people the truth. I want to say what you need to hear to make America better.
Yeah, but he must know. I mean, isn't he kind of self-immolating here in terms of his career? Who's gonna trust him after this? How can he be trusted?
I guarantee you, I'm gonna give this another week to 10 days.
Yeah.
And we're gonna hear Steven Crowder has announced he is offering a new expansive mug club.
And the mug club, just to clarify, the mug club is like his fan club, basically, right?
Yes.
And the mug because coffee mugs, I suppose? Is that the idea?
Because the show is generally on in the morning.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
But yeah, it was on generally on in the morning. He didn't go into the evening until I think the Blaze moved him because of content. And
okay.
Like, okay, maybe if we put him on at night, we'll get away with a little bit more, which, with the way the FCC works, that works in theory.
Yeah. Yeah, I just feel like, I mean, maybe. So you think he has a plan? He has a business plan where he's going to make more money in the long run, because it's hard to top a.
He isn't gonna make more money than $50 million, but at the end of the day, he's going to be able to promote himself as like this revolutionary for the conservative movement.
But if he gets iced out by his fellow conservatives, isn't that bad? Because isn't that what's going to happen?
No, they won't ice him out.
You don't think so?
No. I mean, they never iced out Tucker when he had his beef with, not Tucker, Hannity when he had his beef with Rush.
I don't even remember that.
It was dumb. It was so dumb it isn't even worth talking about.
Yep.
It was when Rush said, "I want President Obama to fail," and Hannity basically said, "Well, you can fail, but there's a way you can fail and not all of us suffer."
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but
basically, Hannity wanted Obama to go through a self-effacing scandal.
Oh, sure. Yeah. It's like Mitch McConnell said, that the Republicans, the main objective was to make Obama a one-term president. Political objective, right. Yeah. But this is different.
They're both the same thing, essentially. But it was really, Hannity was able to grow his base by saying, "I'm about the betterment of America. This guy is wrong for America, but I feel there are ways we can get rid of him and succeed." Rush was just like, "Nah, I want him to drive this airplane into the mountain."
Right. But I think this is different, Eric. This is a guy offered this huge contract who then goes public about all the things he doesn't like about it, forcing the guy who runs the place to go public and do a point by point of the contract. I mean, this is, I think this is, I don't think we've never seen anything like this.
This is unprecedented.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Who can trust? How can anyone trust Steven Crowder after this?
Sheep to slaughter. If you follow someone, they're gonna blindly follow you. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just the way media works. There are people that still think Howard Stern is this preeminent shock jock.
Right.
And it's like he hasn't been a shock jock for years.
Decades. You'll if you listen to America as I still do on satellite radio, there's some pretty shocking content on his show, actually.
I mean, based on what he did, though.
He's a lot more PC than he used to be. That's for sure. But there's still some pretty. There's still some things. Yeah, but it's more sexual, not like racial humor. Although there's some of that too. There's still some things that. Like Jenny and I will be in the car and we'll be listening and we're like, "Whoa, didn't see that coming."
I can see that.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I firmly believe that's his play here because that's the only play he has left.
Yeah.
Unless there is another option, Turning Point USA comes into play with him.
But what do they? They don't have a actual platform, do they? Or do they? Maybe they do.
Well, it's Charlie Kirk, and it's a national student movement, but if they could work out a deal where Steven Crowder basically gets points off of his content...
Yeah.
That's something that could be worked out.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe we'll see Crowder with his own primetime show on Fox News. Who knows?
I don't think that. Yeah,
I actually can see it. You can't see it. I don't mean right. I don't mean right now, but I mean someday. I can see him getting there because I do think, as much as I don't like the guy, I think he does have the skill. I think he has the skill set as a broadcaster to do something like that.
I think we are, with Fox, I think as close as they were going to get. Maybe on Fox Nation, they would do it. Their streaming service.
Oh, yeah. I forget that's a thing. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Maybe on Fox Nation. I don't see him going primetime because they're not going to boo Gutfield.
Oh, Greg Gutfeld.
Greg Gutfeld.
Do you like him? I'll tell you, because let me just tell you, Eric, I remember I said this to my dad once. Every time I see Greg Gutfeld, all I can think is he's like a poor man's Adam Carolla. Like he wants to be, his whole vibe just screams like he wants to be Adam Carolla so badly, and he knows he never will be. And I think it eats away at him. I think in his quiet moments alone, he just like, oh, I just want to be Adam Carolla, and I think it eats his soul. What do you think?
He tries too hard.
Yeah, he does. But I think he's trying to be Adam Carolla.
I remember watching Fox News during the 2016 election, and he's like, you know what? I never voted in an election. I never cared for an election until this one.
Really? He said that?
Yeah. And I'm just like, wow, so why am I listening to you?
Yeah.
Like, you're saying that Joe Biden versus Donald Trump is the most important election of our lifetime? What rock have you been living under? Every presidential election is important.
Yeah.
For, if at the very least, it's the next 4 years of our lives.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was just like, what a stupid thing to say.
That's an odd thing. Yeah. Very odd.
And everyone was chuckling, and he like gave this sly little smile like he was a kid stealing candy from the teacher's desk.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, he's painful.
So,
he's just painful.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
But they're not going to boot him, Tucker Carlson, and Hannity for Steven Crowder.
Right. I think they'd find some room for him somewhere. Hannity won't be around forever.
I could see it on Fox Nation.
Yeah.
But they're going to do the same thing to him that they did to Tommy. They're going to say, hey, you got to tone it down a little.
Oh, that they did to who?
When they brought Tommy onto Fox.
Oh, Tommy. Yeah,
had the conversation with her that, hey, got to rein it in a touch.
Oh, did they? Is she still there?
Yeah, she does Fox Friends almost every day.
Oh, yeah, I don't watch that.
Well, I don't either.
Yeah.
It's just like that is, I can't watch political talk right when I get up in the morning. It just, no.
Yeah.
It's like it's too early.
Yeah.
Let me turn on Roseanne and eat my Cheerios and drink my energy drink.
There you go. Well, very good. Well, we are past the top of the hour. We should get to your film review, but do you have anything to add to this whole Steven Crowder mess? It'll be interesting to see what the next twist and turn in the saga is, because I have a feeling it's a long way from him over.
Yeah, this is just getting started. Because, yeah, Steven is I firmly believe this, trying to prop himself up as this free speech conservative champion, taking on the empire of Daily Wire to bring them down. And it's like, really? That's like one house on the street trying to knock down the other house, and they look exactly the same.
Yeah.
And saying, oh, this house is an eyesore.
Right.
It's like, it's entertaining.
It is. Oh, I love it. Like I said, I've never seen anything like it where, I mean, just learning all the details of that contract. I'm so into that stuff. It's fascinating to me. I don't think I'd be half as fascinated by all of this if it were not for that, getting to learn that. That is, to me, that's just, it's like a peek behind the scenes that you would never get under any other circumstance, you know?
No, and it was really done. Like, I have seen some people go after the Daily Wire for what they did, and I have no beef with anything the Daily Wire has done here.
Right.
They have to defend their brand. They have to defend their company.
Yeah.
If you're going to attack someone in this, it's got to be Crowder.
Yeah. Yeah.
He let the contract out. This would have been all... This is why I think he's trying to become the martyr here.
Mm-hmm.
This would have been unknown had he not brought it up.
Right. Yeah.
No one would have known about this.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, I think that's what he's really shooting for.
Yep. No, I agree. I think you're right. I don't know if it's going to work out for him, but I think you're right.
I don't think it is.
Yeah.
I just think the Daily Wire is so big, so popular, and more respected than Steven Crowder.
Yeah, that's true too. That's a good point. He would have benefited. I think he would have really benefited from being there.
I think he would have as well. And
Yeah.
it's such a stupid play. It makes no sense unless you really have this major league God complex about you. That you have to feel like you're a savior of something.
Right.
Like, the more I think about this guy, he sounds vaguely familiar to someone else.
Yes.
like he's a savior of some type of music or something. Self-proclaimed.
I was thinking the same thing.
It's like, man,
they have a lot of things in common. I'm telling you, they've got a lot in common.
Suspensions.
Maybe Steven Crowder can find a spot on Asgard Radio.
Ooh.
Actually, never mind. I heard they don't pay their DJs.
Well, I was also going to say, I'm pretty sure he could do better than 1.5 listeners per show.
I think you're right. That's true too. That's true too. All right, Eric, we should let you go because I'm very anxious to share your wonderful film review, everybody. But thank you for joining me for this discussion. This was great.
I was really sad when yesterday's got derailed because this is amazing stuff.
Yeah. Well, I like when there's a lot of spontaneity in the show. It keeps it fun for me. So I was actually kind of in my glory with all of that, to be honest with you. But
I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really was hoping you would allow me the opportunity to discuss this even further. Yeah, we're nowhere near the end.
Yeah. Yep. Well, we'll see what happens next. All right, Eric, we'll let you go so we can get to your review, but thank you for Skyping in.
Thank you.
You got it. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, that was our friend Erich Pilcher from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And so it'll be very interesting to see what happens next with this whole Steven Crowder versus the Daily Wire thing. Let them fight. I love it. But I know that's shocking to all of you that I would enjoy something like that. Anyway, let's get to it, though. Of course, every Friday we have Erich Pilcher's Classic Film Review, a very popular segment on the show. And what we're going to present now is his part 2 of his review of what some would say, including Eric certainly, and I'd probably agree, the greatest rock documentary ever made, Metallica, Some Kind of Monster. So here it is. This is part 2 of Eric's review of that. We'll listen to this, and then we'll show some love to our amazing sponsors, and then we'll be back with the balance of our show. And Rob Azevedo will probably be popping in before too long, so we'll chat with him. But he usually comes in a little bit early before his show, which immediately follows this one. But here it is, Eric's Classic Film Review, Part 2, Metallica, Some Kind of Monster.
James wrote something in the new issue of our magazine, So What? He wrote a kind of a little handwritten note. That note was probably the most heartfelt thing I'd ever seen come from his mind. Tomorrow is shaping up, or is gearing itself up to be, yes, the first to sit down with one James Hetfield post rehab.
Yes.
Why are we filming this?
I don't know.
We're in very different places, or at least I am in a very different place than I was from the Presidio. That's a huge understatement. So we just have to find that if the movie will be as intense, then to me there was a lot of intrusion, and I kind of went with it and I felt uncomfortable. I felt uncomfortable with it. A boom following me around, and it just felt like I was in the spotlight all the time, and I guess I don't really like that feeling.
When we were in the Presidio filming you guys playing, did you feel it then too?
Yeah, it was pretty much all the time.
I mean, do you think you're in a better place now? I mean, we've got to find some place that makes you feel comfortable. The last thing we want to do is have it impede on your music, because that's more important than anything.
One answer may be maybe there shouldn't be a film. I mean, that's the range of possibilities that we should really think about, because, I mean, why do you guys want to film? Even you said you hope that the film's made. I mean, I think
that's a big question, because for me it was really just, it came along with being in Metallica. Hey, we're gonna do this. Oh, okay. That's part of this, all of this, the bigness of Metallica, and I'm kind of tired of it. You might look at it as a friend. To me, it's been a beast, and it's sucked a lot of me into it.
You were maybe the keeper of the beast at one point, because you were the champion of that entity.
And of course, you got to just find the right balance between what everybody's personal needs are. But if Metallica collectively decides to do this, then I think Metallica can make it happen.
I don't know, that scares me again. Metallica is 3 individuals, and 3 individuals have to decide if it's good to do.
But I still think that the priority is the collective until all the people involved in the collective say that the priority is the individual. And so far, you're the only one that said the priority is the individual. I haven't said that. And he hasn't said that. I haven't heard him say that. So I feel that there's still an unbalance there.
When we concluded last week's review, one of the biggest and top-selling rock bands of all time, Metallica, was on the verge of collapse. Long brewing interpersonal conflict leading to the departure of bassist Jason Newsted. Lead singer James Hetfield abruptly leaving for rehab during the recording process of the then untitled album left the remaining members of the group in flux. After nearly a year away, our introductory clip is the return of Hetfield. We start with this clip because even with his return, there is uncertainty with the band going forward. There are questions with the documentary continuing, let alone Metallica as a whole. Our next clip is the coming ahead of this dispute. When James decides to continue work on the new album, it is with the rule that he only works from noon to 4 p.m. One day, Lars decides to work after 4 p.m. with guitarist Kirk Hammett. This is found out, and what happens with the session with Counselor Phil Toll is years of frustration and issues between Hetfield and Ulrich that come out in one of the most explosive and talked about scenes in this film.
I guess the part that gets me is, I don't know, I felt like it was an agreement. We're going to work from 12 to 4, and then we would not work.
The 12 to 4 was a schedule that we came up, but it was based on you.
It's based on us.
I know. It's based
I don't want it based on me. If it's based on me, I don't want it.
What does that mean?
It means we should all agree upon it and stick to that. That's all. Then why have an agreement? I mean, if it's a project that we're all working on collectively, and when I leave, work is done on it, that part bothers me.
It's the only way of avoiding that is agreeing with you. And that's just, that's what I can't get my head around. If Rich also said that, of course, James, you throw the rule out, we all just blindly agree to it, okay. 4:01, you're out the door, everybody's happy. But it's just not that simple. I gotta tell you, dude, it's pretty difficult to respect a 4 o'clock thing when you show up at 12:25 and he shows up at 12:35. It starts right there, okay? And it's sort of, I don't know, it just becomes difficult, you know, when it's not a two-way thing. You know, you didn't apologize when you came in. You didn't say anything. You just came, showed up at 12:25. You say, hey, sorry I'm late.
Yeah, that's so funny coming from you.
Yeah,
it really is. But thanks.
Huh?
What do you mean? Never heard him say that once in 20 years.
What?
Sorry, I'm late. Probably billions of times you were late.
You guys have issues. That you guys have a long list of issues that you guys need to go through. It seems to me like there's a lot of history that you guys need to work out.
You know, I almost feel like a science project right now. You know, it's like I walk out of here and I feel it, you know, oh, so how did it go today with, you know, the project, the guy, you know. I don't like that.
Who's saying that?
I don't know. I'm assuming, and that's another thing that's not good to do. No one's saying that, but I don't know. I get that. I guess that's a fear of mine.
And it's the same with him. He's got issues too. He's not vocal about them like you. He's got a lot he's got to get out. He's got to have your respect. That guy right there. He has to have your respect because everything you've gone through, this guy's gone through, and he's gone through too. And to a certain extent, me.
I just think it's so absorbed and so selfish. And the things that I struggle with on that is this complete lack of not only respecting other points of view, sacrificing your own needs for other ways, but also kind of a complete lack of caring about other points of view or caring about what I feel or anybody else in this room feels, or you know, all that type of stuff. And or just a lack of interest in how other people feel. It's not there.
It just comes down to effort and what you're willing to do. Like put in that same effort, the same effort that you're putting into your sobriety and your family and your wife has to be put into Metallica.
I'm more important than Metallica.
Well, of course you are.
And I'm tired of the other way around happening, that's all.
Why does it have to be either or? Is that the only two options? Is it either Metallica is number one and then everything else is or I and my family number one and then everything else gets Is that the only two options that are left? Is it not possible that they can all coexist together in some way, that you and your family and Metallica all get what they all deserve? My family's more important to me than this okay? But it doesn't mean I'm not ready to put in 8 12-hour days if that's what it takes right now.
See, that's contradicting to me.
Okay.
Because when you sit here for 8 hours and don't go home, I think, well, he doesn't give about his family, you know, and that's none of my business.
What?
So I need to hear that stuff from you too.
You think?
I never feel I get closer to seeing anything clearer.
And
I don't know where this is going.
Yeah.
I just wish I had some clarity in my life.
Right.
Okay, it's been
That's
a year and a
really-
half
that's
of
really-
fog, so it doesn't seem like it's going anywhere.
And when it doesn't
More
seem like
talk.
when it seems like it's not going anywhere, then what's it like to be you?
It's frustrating.
Like angry, like
It's just frustrating. Okay, I don't know.
Does it always have to have the
It's just
long range?
you know, I'd like to
This is what
understand.
bugs me about this process, is that every single thought has second, every emotion. What were you feeling in that instant? I don't know. Right now, it okay? It's been a
Throughout this film, performance coach Phil Toll's influence cannot be understated. He opened doors for the band to be able to communicate with them and have them communicate with each other on different levels. all members of Metallica have stated since the film that if not for him, there would not be a Metallica currently. However, the band does decide that it is time to part ways with Toll, and when it occurs, one could accuse Toll of trying to exude some power over Hetfield to stay a part of the group in his own way.
You and us and our future and all of that stuff. And, you know, when I heard that you guys were moving here and all of that, that brought up a lot of fear around, wow, what is Phil's perception of, you know, his, you know, longevity with Metallica? You know, that scared me a little bit.
I appreciate that. If it scares you and that's part of the issue going forward, then let me say we haven't decided we're moving here. I've tried to make it clear that we're selling. I think we've told people we're selling our house in Kansas City, but that doesn't mean we're moving here. Okay, and we won't likely move to San Francisco if there's not a future out there with Metallica, because you know that's my. I want to make sure that the bass player's intact. I want to be sure that the tour's on, and I also, as I said, have performance coach visions for each of you and for the band. And to me, the work isn't over. I'd like us to honor what we had, and if you want to be away from, you know, on your own or something for the couple months that's in back in June, then that's okay. Just keep it
I don't know. I guess I have a problem sometimes, Phil, with it. Let's see how it works out. Let's see how it happens, and then no, let's honor what happened, you know, 6 months ago. You know, that's kind of strange to me. You know, because I think that you use those things when they're convenient at times. You know, personal stuff or business things, and I don't know. The boundaries are, I don't know, becoming more clear to me.
There's that element of trust that just kind of floats with me, and I'm really sorry about that. You know, I've been swimming uphill on that one for a long time with you, and I'd like for us to be able to resolve that, but maybe we can't.
I gotta tell you that if the client, either James or us, says, you know, then I really think that needs to be respected without, you know, just, you know, the old turn the knife thing in there. You know, it just, you know, if the client says, you know, time out for a while, time out.
That is correct, although with our process to honor what we have.
But then it should be put on the table, but left on the table, and should be able to walk away without what you're saying right now, which is now there are trust issues and stuff.
I don't know how to separate out.
In its simplest form, I think it's a conflict of interest. Did you tell him that he needs you around more if he wants to take a break?
I'm not saying that.
I see that as a conflict of interest.
I am saying you guys have made a decision. It's okay for me to say I'm not happy with that decision. The premise is you guys don't need me, and I'm good with that.
Anyway, you're going. It's anyway. Let's change.
Great. I'll see you guys. I'm taking out. I'll see you next week. Have a great one. Thanks, man.
After 2 years of fighting, breaks, and self-discovery, the three members of the group decide to add a new bassist. What follows is an audition process that included Twiggy Ramirez, formerly of A Perfect Circle and Marilyn Manson, Eric Avery of Jane's Addiction, and Pepper Keenan of Corrosion of Conformity, among many others. Who they decide on is Robert Trujillo, formerly of Suicidal Tendencies and Ozzy. Interestingly enough, Jason Newsted would end up replacing Trujillo in Ozzy for the Ozfest 2003 tour. In our final clip, the band decides on Trujillo and makes him a life-changing offer.
Sort of 10% over the capabilities or something like that. And you don't feel that with this guy at all. It's like the last 3 songs, like Sanitarium, Nothing Else Matters, and what was those?
Sad.
They were flawless.
And looked over at him during Whiplash, and he was just right in the pocket and in there. And then afterwards, when he played it alone with his finger, it hadn't been played that way since Cliff.
It's just like, huh?
Yeah.
His fingers are pick, you know?
Yeah.
The Shaq ball down?
The second time you came back, I mean, that was for me when I noticed that you make us play better, man. You make the band sound so much better, so solid.
How do you feel about that, man?
Well, I feel awesome, man.
You're the chosen one right now.
You're the coolest.
We want you to be a real member of this band, not just a hired hand.
Right, absolutely.
And we'd like to offer you, basically, to show you how serious we are about this, offer you $1 million to join our band right now. And as a kind of a good faith thing about how serious we are.
It's an advance. It's an advance on some percentage you're going to be making with the band. Here's money up front to get you kicked in and inspired. And this is a reality. This is my future. This is what life can hold for me with my new family. Whew.
I can't really talk right now.
Since this film, Metallica has stayed the headbanging force they always have been. They have released 3 additional studio albums since 2004. Saint Anger, the album this film documents the making of, sold well over 2 million copies in the United States alone, and 6 million copies worldwide. In the summer of 2003, they embarked on a summer stadium tour with Mudvayne, Deftones, Linkin Park, and Limp Bizkit. They called it the Summer Sanitarium 2003 tour. It was also the first time that yours truly was able to see his favorite band of all time live for the first time in Minneapolis, Minnesota at the Metrodome. And it was a memory I will never forget. They also are set to release their 11th studio album this April, entitled 72 Seasons, and are set to embark on a 2-year tour with Pantera and Five Finger Death Punch. Safe to say, Metallica is still here, and Metallica is here to stay. Regardless, I cannot recommend this film enough. It is the greatest rock documentary ever made. It is raw, unflinching, and unabashed in its approach. The band bears its soul for the fans to see. So even if you're not a fan of the band, you should see this, because it might broaden your musical horizons. It will certainly broaden your film horizons. I hope you join me next week when we take a look into the future with a military government, teenagers at war, and giant bugs. Next week's film is 1997's Starship Troopers. For WMNH and Matt Connarton Unleashed, this has been a Classic Film Review with Erich Pilcher.
Bring your kitchen to life with Queen City Cabinetry. Located at 87 Elm Street in the historic Sunbeam Mall in Manchester. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. They can be reached at 603-222-2007 or on the web at queencitycabinetrynh.com. Come see the possibilities. Queen City Cabinetry, another proud sponsor of WMNH.
Clemento's Pizzeria, family friendly, awesome for a date night. Clemento's Pizzeria.
For delivery, call 603-782-8450.
Clemento's Pizzeria, the best pizza in town.
1875 South Willow Street in Manchester, New Hampshire.
Best cocktails around.
Come in as friends and leave as family.
This hour on WMNH is sponsored by CGI Business Solutions, located at 5 Dartmouth Drive in Auburn. They serve all your business needs, including employee benefits planning, corporate design and business administration, investments and wealth management, and customized business insurance solutions. Their phone number is 866-841-4600 or on the web at cgibusinesssolutions.com.
WMNH, rip the knob off.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back as we cruise into our final segment today of Matt Connarton Unleashed. And we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. Also on Comcast 97 if you're in Manchester. And hello to all of our online listeners across the nation and around the globe. You can go to my website, mattconnarton.com, for all your live streaming options, social media links, contact info, show archives, merch, and more. Today is Friday, January 20th, 2023. Fridays, of course, very exciting here at WMNH. Very busy. We just heard Erich Pilcher's classic film review, part 2 of Some Kind of Monster, the great Metallica documentary. I see people in the chat room enjoyed it. Mike from Queen City Cabinetry, one of our great sponsors here, says, nice job, Eric, as always. And Melanie says, nice job, Eric. And of course, new affirm of the Spark from Greensboro, North Carolina. They're always very positive and supportive there. New affirm of the Spark says, we say awesome, hashtag Eric. Yes, of course. Of course. Also, coming up at 6 p.m., we have A Granite State of Mind, hosted by the great Rob Azevedo. That will be live immediately following this show. I haven't seen Rob yet, but I did see Paulie Stone, his co-host. He's in the building. And then tonight, both Rob and I will be back for Retro Spectrum Radio with Paulie C. And here's what Paul has planned for tonight. We've got the topic all figured out. Now you have to figure it out. It's simple. We're going to play 25 songs that all have one thing in common, and you have to figure out what that is. Call in with the correct answer. Overthinkers are welcome, and we'll also be joined by published author, poet, and host of Granite State of Mind, the great Rob Azevedo. The fun starts at 8 p.m. tonight, so join us tonight, of course, from 8 to 11 p.m. as we are live with Retro Spectrum Radio every Friday night. And what we also like to encourage you to do is join us on Facebook in the Facebook live chat during the show, because we love getting to chat with everybody during the program. But then go to WMNHradio.org and click Listen Live to stream the audio there, because Paul typically mutes the Facebook feed so we don't get in trouble with Facebook for the copyrighted music. But you can chat on Facebook, but then open another tab on your browser and join us that way to listen to the audio uninterrupted. And we are joined in studio by Rob Azevedo and Paulie Stone. How are you guys?
Matt, how are you? Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
doing good.
Of course. And looking forward to tonight's Retro Spectrum Radio.
I know. What an honor to be on.
That'll be your first time on that program,
yes, sir.
I believe. Yes.
First time ever. Thank you, Paulie.
Yeah. That'll be a lot of fun. You know what the theme is already, obviously.
Tell me more about it.
It's he's going to play 25 songs, and they all have something in common. So we have to try to guess what the theme is.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, boy. They all... Okay, good. Will I need a notebook?
I never use one.
Okay.
I mean, although I might this week, because I've gotten into the habit of bringing one with me.
Isn't it useful?
It is. Yeah, it is very useful. Very useful. What do you guys have coming up on Retro Spectrum Radio?
We have Nostalgic Lane coming on. They're a local cover band that are guy named Tyler, that he's been on the show before with a couple other bands, and so now he's got this thing going called Nostalgic Lane, and they're coming on. I think they do a lot of 90s covers, and they're trying to break out into that scene.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah, we're going to be doing that, and then we're going to be talking up. Paul's got a nice big show going on at the Stone Church this Wednesday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it'll be a good time. Real good time, actually.
The Stone Church in Portsmouth?
Newmarket, yeah, up on Zion Hill.
I make that mistake every time. I kind of think of Newmarket and Newington and Portsmouth. That I think of that as all as one.
As do I.
thing.
Yeah, me too.
Even
Yeah.
Dover.
I
Even
still have
Dover.
to GPS it, right?
Yeah. I haven't been to the Stone Church in years. So what do you have going on there?
I through Dead Archer and Making Friends, they offered me a show. I'm opening up for a couple of people. We're going to talk more about that later.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And I got my friend Andrew North is going to come play some piano with me, and another guy playing percussion. So we're doing this little trio, kind of singer songwriter type
Excellent.
energy up at the Stone Church on Wednesday night. I'm
Oh,
excited.
he's got a cool sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Excellent.
Fun.
Do you have anything on? Is any of your music online?
No, so I funny enough, I'm supposed to drive
One
up
of those.
north tomorrow to go to the studio and mix and master that stuff down to put that out there.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, like that's a thing, and I just haven't finished it yet, which is on me. But
Oh.
soon, it'll
cool.
be on the streaming platforms. And
Excellent.
but for now, just come check me out live because it's a fun show.
Where have you been recording?
Up at Mojo Music Studio up in Easton, New Hampshire.
Yep.
Franconia, right? Area?
Yeah, Franconia
Yeah.
area. And Joe Simino up there are just amazing people and great energy, good vibe, and
They've been there a long time, huh?
yes, they have.
Wow.
I'd like to visit that. I bet that Mojo Studio is pretty cool hang.
I would too. Yeah, I've been hearing about Mojo for like decades and decades.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's good.
I mean, I guess if you want to leave early, we can you road trip together, right?
Well, I could do it. I
Yeah.
just sit there anyways.
Yeah, they used to. Didn't they? They used to do a radio show, didn't they? Or
I do believe they still do.
Oh, they still do that? No
Yes,
kidding.
they do.
Oh wow. Oh cool.
Yeah, yeah, they're just great people, and you know what? Very like-minded, which I think made it comfortable. Because coming around here to the station, we're all like-minded in a lot of ways, and being around other like-minded people is always positive.
Yeah.
And it always brings out the best in you when you're around like-minded people. So I fell in love. I went up there one day, fell in love with them and the whole energy and scene. I said, yeah, I can write an album up here.
Yeah.
And that's what we did.
Excellent.
Speaking of energy, just because this is a political show, have you felt the energy change at all since the House was taken over by the GOP?
The energy that I feel.
Yes, go ahead.
It's more of a sense of dread, but it's about a specific thing. I talk on the show a lot about the debt ceiling and the importance of raising that on schedule, which of course we already haven't done. And I'm worried about the country defaulting on our debt for the first time in our history, and the catastrophic economics around that. So I that's the kind of energy I'm feeling about it.
Mm-hmm.
How about you?
I don't, it's hard now to watch because I am just, inundated by, Marjorie and
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I hope things work out, and then Joe just drives me crazy. He dropped the ball with these documents. He completely
I
dropped
know.
the ball.
Yeah.
Killed the momentum. He's like the buzzkill. He was like, we had a cool party going on and Joe had to come in and slip and fall.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's like he was riding this when he got into office. He was riding this great wave, and then the balloon popped. You know what I mean? And then he got it back.
Yep.
And then he stepped in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, oops.
He should be announcing soon. I forget what the last thing it was that I heard about that. Because of course he hasn't made an announcement yet.
No.
About running for
Pete's
re-election.
gonna. Pete's gonna.
I hear his name a lot. Yeah,
100%.
Pete Buttigieg.
Yeah,
but you don't think he's going to challenge Biden, do you? You mean in the future he's going to run, or you think?
Yeah, I think he'll run next time.
Oh, okay. Yeah. He's very articulate.
Oh no, I think he'll challenge Biden.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
No
Interesting.
Yeah, I do.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's got big aspirations, and I think he feels like he reads the vibe of the future of,
He can afford to wait, though. Is he even 40 years old?
Right, but he's ambitious.
He's a young guy.
Yeah.
I think because, that's a huge risk. If he steps out of the administration and challenges Biden, won't the party see that as a betrayal?
I don't know. Yeah, probably. But isn't that what the game they're in?
I think
ultimately that's the game they're in.
I think that does them more harm than good, though. It never works.
Well, who else?
Challenging
Who's going to go?
an incumbent.
Who would challenge?
Oh, there's nobody. It's gonna. I'm sure Biden's gonna announce his run for re-election.
Right. Me too.
Yeah. So no one's gonna challenge him. That would be shocking. Don't get me wrong.
It's a lot of years.
It'd be fat. I know.
Ooh.
I know. He's 80 and he's not looking so spry at times.
At all.
Sometimes, yes, he has moments
If he,
where
if he doesn't
seems-
have to move, he's got it, man. He's got it. If he doesn't have to move, I mean, like today, he was lucid and, you know, I don't know if he had soup for lunch or maybe he eats too many grilled cheeses or something. I don't know.
Some days he seems 10 years younger.
Yeah, you're right.
And then other days it's like, yeah, this is an 80-year-old man.
Isn't that like everything, though? Don't you feel some days 10 years older or 10 years younger? Some days the energy's there. The other days I'm flat on my back.
No, because it's winter, so every day I feel like I'm flat on my back.
Brutal.
I love it. I love the winter.
Yeah, some people do. I wish I did. Although
I hate it too.
They've gotten easier over the years. But even that I have mixed feelings about. Because on the one hand, I like the easier winters. On the other hand, I don't like what it portends.
It is a soul-sucking season, man. It is. He's like it's like Biden. It's a momentum killer.
It's the darkness.
Yes.
Well, that's what I think part of Biden's problem is. I think he's good. I think he has sundowners. I think once the sun goes down, that's when he's a little rough. No, for real.
Maybe.
Somebody said that to me recently. Well, it wasn't one of you guys, was it?
It wouldn't have been me.
Must have been. Yeah, it must have been somebody on the phone or in the chat. Somebody pointed that out, that maybe that's Biden's issue.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but I don't see anyone challenging him, but it's always interesting when someone challenges an incumbent. Like I still vividly remember when Pat Buchanan in '92 in the '92 Republican primary almost beat George H.W. Bush in the New Hampshire primary.
All right.
And that was fascinating.
I think there'd be
to
a lot
watch.
of liberals that would be okay with somebody challenging Biden.
Yeah. Oh, it's risky though. Oh, it's risky.
Yeah, because you don't want to look like the party's divided, right?
Right,
Like that's
yeah.
the last thing you want.
Yeah.
So that's a hard sell because nobody's really going to like say what they think in those situations once you're at that political level, right?
Yeah.
Like they go with what's for the greater good.
And you don't want to look like you just put a shiv in an old man's back. You know what I mean?
That's politics, man. That's a street.
That is true. That is true. Well, we will begin to wrap up because we've got these fine gentlemen with Granite State of Mind up next, and then Rob will be back for Retrospectrum Radio later, which really looking forward to that. But remind us again what you've got coming up.
We got Nostalgic Lane coming on at 6 till 6:30. Then from 6:30 on, we're going to play some tunes, talk a bit, gab like a couple girls.
Oh, boy.
Oh, outstanding. Yeah. And Paulie Stone, please plug your show Wednesday at the Stone Church.
Stone Church, 8 p.m. Yeah, it's going to be a great time. We got 3 different acts. And
George Barber's playing.
George
Barber's
Win.
great.
Win.
I forget Win's last name, but
I do
she's
too.
coming on the show.
Yeah. I'm sharing the stage Wednesday, 8 p.m. Stone Church in Newmarket. It'll be great.
Very cool. By the way, Jason Fedderson continues to ask this every week. Is that the situation from Jersey Shore?
Yes, it is.
You remind him of the situation. You do look. I think you look a little bit like him. I never watched Jersey Shore, but I think I know what the situation looks like, and I think he does kind of look like you.
Yeah.
Or you look like
I
him.
have a much fatter face.
Do you?
I don't know.
Well, have we seen the situation lately? For all we know,
I don't know. I want his arms. I want his big situation arms. So.
My daughter loves that show.
Oh, really?
Unfortunately, I've seen more of the situation than I care to admit. Yeah.
So do you agree
Oh,
that
without
Rob-
a doubt.
Oh,
yeah.
really? Yeah.
And you should hear him talk. We get into some conversations sometimes. Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
I thought that 1,000 times over. Never
Oh, no
said
kidding.
It, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's
Very
fun for me.
Very good.
They do say New Hampshire people and New Jersey people are very entwined.
Who says that?
Yeah, I hear things.
Really?
Being from New Hampshire has the big city down in Boston, and Jersey has New York City.
Yeah.
We're kind of cut from the same cloth. So
I
who
guess
knows?
that makes sense. I guess that makes sense.
Who
All right.
says that? I'm going to find that out. Good question.
Yeah. Well, I'm a broadcast journalist. I ask the probing questions.
I hear you.
Absolutely. All right, I'm going to wrap up. If you missed any part of today's show, it will be up in just a little bit at WMNHradio.org and at my website, mattconnerton.com. And if you are listening live, of course, Granite State of Mind is up next. And we'll talk at you all tonight on Retro Spectrum Radio as well at 8 p.m. And that's going to do it for me for now. Everybody be safe, drive safe out. How are the roads? Fine, probably.
I didn't drive, but what'd you think?
Yeah, they're wet. I mean, be careful later. They could get a little slick, but
could get icy.
they're good right now.
Okay, good. All right. Well, everybody drive safe, and that's it. I'll talk to you a little bit later. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.